but she just texted me that there was an accident or something, so she'll get here. Vida is coming, but she's already done the program, so I can start without her, but she wanted to restart. So I am going to start by introducing Eddie. He is my videographer, so welcome, Eddie. And my name is Carol. I'm the owner of Transformed by Food, and my husband is Carol Arredondo. So we have been together for 37 years, and through the 37 years, we've been through bodybuilding competitions. I've done bikini, he's done bodybuilding competitions. We've done marathons, triathlons, duathlons, long distance cycling, then CrossFit. He's been in the CrossFit Games 3 times. And so we've been through a lot of different seasons of our life. Through that, even though it's not our job or our occupation, it's been our hobby and our passion. I'm a dental hygienist, and he is a retired fire captain for the fire department. So, but food has been an important part of our life. Number one for me, because I struggled with food through the years because I have really heavy genetics. My mom is very overweight and my dad is very overweight. So I had very dysfunctional eating habits. So it's very personal to me. And that's why I love this program so much, because it saved, I think, my life, and to be happier and to live more peaceful. And I am not afraid of food anymore. It's actually my friend and it's fuel, and I enjoy eating, and I don't feel guilty about it anymore. So with that, I wanted to go over my logo. It's important to start this off because this is the whole basis of the program. So if you see in my business card, there's a little triangle with a circle. So the triangle to me is the whole basis of how we live. Number one is God, the Holy Spirit. And that's why I wanted you to do your index cards, because it's so important to start the day off with prayer, reading your index cards, even if whatever God you believe in, or if you don't believe in God. It's important to meditate on your goals and your commitments. So that's my main focus, is God, and having the Holy Spirit guide me in my life. And it's important on Sundays is to review your index cards and figure out what you can do better for the week. And we'll touch on that in a little bit. Next one is your food, which I'm going to be taking care of to show you how to proportion and how to divide your protein, carbs, and fats in a proper way to get the results that you want. And then the third one is exercise, which we should all take time 1 hour a day to exercise, whether it be yoga, whether it be walking, jogging, whatever it is, to do something for your body. The circle symbolizes to me the day, 24 hours. We all have 24 hours in a day. So we have to divide our day into a pie shape for work, chores, social, family, and we have to fit in our exercise, our food, and time for God. So that's what my whole logo stands for. On Sundays, what I do is try to evaluate how my week went and how I have to readjust my days to make it all fit properly. Because if I get too busy, then I don't have time to exercise, but that's not going to be good for me, and so on. Do you want to say anything else about that?
No, go right ahead.
No? Okay. All right. So that's all I'm going to talk about for that. So does anyone have any questions on that, or is everyone on the same page? Okay. So the next thing I wanted to talk about, everyone should be finished with their homework, which means cleaning out the refrigerator, your pantry, the freezer, all that. Did everyone do that? And you got your lunch pail set, your water container, where's that water? Oh, this is my water container, which I really like. It kind of keeps me accountable. What else? Protein powders. Everyone have their protein powder they're going to be using. Okay. Now, I gave you a bunch of PDFs to download. One of the things is your substitute lists. For instance, I know Marco doesn't like, for instance, let's say Brussels sprouts or hard-boiled eggs. So if you don't like something, there's always something we can substitute it with. So make sure that you review this. And if there's something, let's say, for instance, you're lactose intolerant and you can't handle cheese, we can always substitute it. I don't want you to be having dairy if you're lactose intolerant or if you're having issues. So at any time, just text me and we can make a substitution. The other important thing that I want you to have handy at all times is the increase, decrease. I should have emailed it to you. This is important because if during the week, let's say you'll text me and say, hey, I am like starving or something. I'll say, okay, increase it by 80 calories, and you can go and pick what you want to increase at one time. So I'll kind of guide you on that.
Did you email us that?
Yes. Yeah. So make sure it's printed out. Did you get it? Oh, you know why? Because I didn't have you to increase it. So I will. Yeah. Because I gave you your plan, but you don't need to increase anything. So I will.
So if we are hungry, do we email you like at the end of the week, like once your plan is done for the week, saying, hey, you know what, maybe we want to eat more? Do we tell you like after a day or two?
After day one,
Okay.
I want you all to text me to let me know how the day went.
Okay.
And the first thing I do to guide you is in between meals, if you get hungry, celery sticks, add salad to your meals. Like for instance, what I do is I chop up cabbage and I steam it, lightly steam it, and I put it underneath my food. And that's free. Lettuce is free, radishes, so you can make a salad and have that, and that gives you a little bit more roughage. So, and water, a lot of times not getting dehydrated will mimic hunger, and you're really dehydrated. So when I start to get hungry, I'll look at the time, I say, okay, I have an hour, I'm pretty hungry. I'll start to drink water, and it calms me down. Or I'll have a couple pieces of celery, and I wait. Allowable condiments, did you get this one? Very important, because when I program the food, I'm not telling you to add cilantro or parsley or how to season it. You have to figure out how you want to season your food. So that's why the allowable condiment list. You can use any marinades you want, even teriyaki sauce. People say, well, that has a lot of sugar. Well, you're not going to pour it into your food. You're going to just marinate the chicken in it, for instance. But everything in here is free. So if you want any kind of spices or the everything bagel, all the seasoning and spices are free. Soy sauce and things like that. Just do the low sodium ones. So that's the allowable condiment list. Another thing that I wanted to talk to you about, what happens if you sleep in and it's 9 o'clock in the morning? Does anyone ever sleep in with kids and stuff?
Yes.
You do? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so for instance, if you sleep until 9 o'clock, and I can make photocopies and give you this, but let's say you wake up at 9 a.m. and your breakfast's supposed to be at 7 a.m., right? So what you're going to do is you'll probably be eating at around 9:30, right? Probably get coffee. So what you want to do is eat every 2 hours and 45 minutes. So you're cutting 15 minutes off of each meal. And then instead of eating at 9:30, you'll be eating more closer to like 8:30 p.m., your last meal, by cutting 15 minutes off of each meal. Or what you can do is cut your 4 p.m. snack out. So you'll have one less meal because you're going to not be needing it because you're going to be going to sleep. So I just wanted to talk to you about that, because sometimes some people will say, oh God, I slept in until 10 o'clock. Well, just eat your breakfast and then eat every 3 hours and then skip your 4 o'clock snack. Does that make sense?
So that would even work like if we wake up early. Like what if we wake up like let's just say like we want to do something towards the end of the night. and we don't want to eat like in and out like after we go to a concert. Real example. So if we wake up early,
She's
like,
asking for a friend.
oh my god, this is being videotaped.
It's all on tape.
So if we wake up at 6 o'clock,
Okay.
we just follow the same thing, go to the concert, obviously don't have any alcohol or beer, and continue drinking water until the next day that we eat. Correct?
So I don't understand what you're
Like
saying.
if we eat earlier in the
Then you just eat every 3 hours.
continue.
Continue. Yeah, just eat every 3 hours. It's okay if you're 3 hours and 30 minutes or a little before. That's fine, but you want to keep within that range.
Okay.
There was one more thing I wanted to talk about in that, and now I'm blanking out. But it was something regarding your question. Any questions on that so far? Oh, that's what I wanted to say. Now, some people will, for instance, nurses. I have a lot of, or police officers. They'll skip a meal because of they're on a call or something happens. Well, you don't have to worry because you're retired now. But teachers, for instance, or nurses, they'll have to skip a meal and they'll say, okay, what do I do? Just eat your meal that you missed, and then eat 2 hours and 45 minutes after. 2 hours and 45 minutes after. So if you skip it, don't double up on your meal. Don't eat your 4 p.m. snack and then your dinner together. So go ahead and have your meal, and maybe 2 hours and 30 minutes, you can go ahead and have your next meal to kind of keep. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay.
Does anybody work nights and sleep during the day? Because I know in the past, Carol's had clients that sleep all day, and then their shift doesn't start till 9 at night, and it would be the same thing. You'd wake up, right, sweetie, and then you want to explain that?
Yeah, but no one works nights.
But just in case, Carol, can you explain that? Just in case I do go to a shift that I
Oh,
Or you pick up an
yes.
overtime or
yeah,
something like that,
or
right?
morning watch. Can you explain how if my shift if I wake up, I don't know, at 2 p.m., right, or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, how would that start?
Okay. So let's say for my nurses that work night shift or police officers, what I tell them is they're going to be eating throughout the night because they're awake and working. So when they wake up from sleep, they come home from work, they go to bed, then when you wake up, you're going to eat your breakfast. So let's say that's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, or whatever it is that you wake up and then you just eat every 3 hours after that. In the middle of the night, so nurses, for instance, if they start at midnight, then their breakfast is probably going to be, maybe 9 o'clock at night before they go to work, or midnight. And then at 3 a.m., they'll have their snack. 6 a.m., they're going to have their lunch, and then until they get home. And then they're just going to go to sleep. Does that make sense? Okay. Any questions so far? Okay. You're going to be shopping on Fridays or Saturdays. I'm going to try to get your meal plans to you on Fridays, no later. There's some people that are stay-home moms that want their shopping list early because they want to go early to Costco, so I have the weekends free. So please let me know. And if not, you'll get it like by the evening. So I'm sure you're going to want it early. So the stay-home moms or people that are off on Fridays want their shopping list early. So let me know so that way I put a star by your name and I could get that to you early. So like you're probably want it on Fridays because Costco is not as busy on Fridays, and Saturdays, I hate going to Costco on Saturdays, so.
She sends me on Saturdays.
Yes, I do.
I spend like 3 hours in there.
Yeah, that's true.
You have to wear ankle protection
Oh,
now.
it's crazy.
It's insane. The carts are constantly.
You're right.
I know.
Especially the one that we have to go to over here.
Yeah, it's true. Sunday is prep day, and then Mondays you start. So the first Monday that you're going to start, which is February 3rd, you're going to weigh yourself that day. Make sure that you take your clothes off, go to the bathroom, empty your bladder, step on the scale. You need to take a picture of the scale and then send it to me. And then every Friday, you're going to be weighing in. So Monday is your start day, is the only day you're going to weigh in on a Monday, because that's your start. And then every Friday after that. Your first week is going to be really short. It's only going to be 4 days. But you'll be surprised on how much that you can lose in 4 days. So what that's telling me is it's going to let me know how your metabolism is and what I need to, how to program for you for the next week. Okay? So on Friday, once again, first thing in the morning, you're going to wake up, empty your bladder, make sure you weigh yourself naked, take a picture of the scale, and then send it to me. This is how I want your, how to send me your weigh-ins on Fridays. Let's say your start weight is 222 pounds. And you lost on Friday, that's February 3rd. And then on Friday, it's going to be 220. So you lost 2 pounds. So that's how you're going to text me. You're going to say my start weight was 222. Today's weight is 220 minus 2 pounds. Okay, that's easy math. I don't want to do the math though, because sometimes it's you weigh 222 and then you're 1.8 ounces or something. I don't want to have to do the math when I have 50 people I'm working with. You know what I mean? It just gets me irritated because I'm like, okay, I don't want to do the math. So I'll text you like, okay, so what's the math, you know? So if you just make sure you do your math. So every Friday, you're going to be sending me the weight it was the last Friday to today's Friday. So as you lose weight, let's say last week was 218, and then now you're 215 is today's minus 3 pounds. Does that make sense? Okay. So that's it for your weigh-ins. Today we're going to be taking your pictures and measurements. The next after 6 weeks is going to be March 14th. So let me know if you're able to come March 14th so I could take your after pictures on that day on Saturday. So before you leave, let me know what time slot you want, and we can meet here again to take your after pictures. And at that time, you'll let me know probably a couple of weeks before your 6-week ends. Before your 6 weeks ends, you'll let me know if you want to continue to phase 1B. So this is, everyone is on phase 1A. Phase 1A is, I really like phase 1A because it's a good foundation period. You have bread, tortilla, bagels, normal food. It's just, it's really nice because you're going to be able to learn, teach your children how to eat regular food. And whenever you go to a buffet or go to a restaurant, you'll know how to put your protein, carbs, and fats together. That's why I really love phase 1A. Then phase 1B, we take away the bread and the dairy. Then phase 2, it's stricter. And then phase 3, and like with Shannon, you know, she went hardcore, but that's Shannon. Yeah, that's our Shannon. But as you go through the phases, you're mentally and physically ready to go down that road. So this is a really fun, like phase 1A is awesome because you get, you know, burritos and enchiladas, and it's just nice. And you're still going to lose weight and learn how to portion your food. Then we go to phase 1B, and then, as I say, the phases get stricter and harder and stuff like that, but you're ready for it. I don't start people on phase 3, the hardcore, unless I know them and I know their eating habits and I know they can handle it. So there's some people that I do allow to do that, or that want to compete or take fitness pictures or something like that. Next thing I wanted to talk to you about, is prepping. When you prep your pancakes, I don't know if you're able to see the videos that I sent you. You don't want to prep your eggs more than 4 days because the eggs will go bad. So I usually prep, this is my pancake batter. So I prep 4 of these, and I'll put like stevia in here, cinnamon, and things like that. This is the Kodiak pancake. So I'll do 4 of them at a time. Some people are really busy and they cook their pancakes ahead of time and they have a stack of them, like all 7 of them, and they just grab it, microwave it, and go. So it just depends on your time frame. Do you have a question? Yeah. No, you can buy a gallon. You know, sometimes they'll have cartons, or you can buy the gallon. That's totally fine. You just have to read like 3 tablespoons. Yeah, the measurements. Yeah, that's fine. And it's time efficiency. That's fine. We like to buy our eggs at Billy's Egg Farm on East End because they're laid. They're fresh. They're fresh. They're laid that day. So we like to get them there. It's a box of 100 for I think $23 or something. We go through a lot of eggs here. So.
I think that's
A lot.
the one.
Yeah.
Our sitter's husband works there. We get free eggs all the time.
Oh, nice.
I also went to high school with him, Billy Mel.
Oh, yeah.
very
Yeah.
cool.
And I like Billy Egg Farms better than their one across the street is less expensive, but I don't support that one because it's really dirty. Like if you look at their machines, it's very dirty in there. Hi, Vita. Hi. Good. You can sit right here, sweetie. This is Vita. Oh, she's also in law enforcement. We have a retired PD here. And right here is another. Oh, and she's law enforcement. The whole room is law enforcement, just about. Hi. Okay, one thing I wanted to talk about also was cooking your meat. Now, you're going to be home for the next couple of months, so you're fine being able to cook maybe every couple of days. But for me, for instance, I don't have time to keep grilling my meat. So I'll have Mark barbecue all my chicken or salmon for the whole week. And what I do is prep maybe just 3 days, and the rest of it I measure it out, put it in a gallon, like in a sandwich baggie, and then put it in a gallon freezer bag and freeze it. And then on Wednesday, I'll take it out. So it's already pre-measured. I can't handle prepping my food for 7 days. It grosses me out to have my food like that old. Some people do that. I'm like, oh my gosh, I couldn't do it. So I'll prep for like 3 days, and then my meat I'll put into the freezer and then take it out. But like for you, you can make it fresh, but some people that work, you can't do that, So you can decide on how you want to do that. Another thing is like if you have brown rice, you can make the big pot of brown rice and measure it with the chicken and put it in sandwich baggies. So I'll put my 3 ounces of rice, 4 ounces of chicken, and then I put it in a freezer bag and freeze it. And then on Wednesday, I take it out so it's already done. But at least it's fresh than sitting in the refrigerator. Does that make sense? And then I steam my vegetables fresh every couple of days. One thing on phase 1A at 10 a.m., you're always going to have a protein shake and a banana. And I think I did that because it's just fast and easy, and it's easy to eat. I know as for me, for working, it goes down quickly. But you can make it into a shake, like freeze your bananas, and you can even put a little spinach in there if you want it in the Vitamix. But my next phases now, I'm going more plant-based. So I'm changing the 10 a.m. up a little bit. I'm adding like oranges and spinach and cucumbers. So we bought a Vitamix, and it has been amazing. So the night before, I'll get my Vitamix, and I'll put my spinach, my protein powder in there, my cucumber, carrot, and maybe a small orange. In the morning, I blend it all up, and then put it in containers, and then go to work. So I've been kind of switching my plans to add more green to the diet. Reward days. You get 1 reward meal a weekend and 1 reward dessert. So your reward meal doesn't mean all you can eat. It means you can go to a restaurant, and don't go to a buffet, but you can get spaghetti and meatballs, and you can have bread with butter, you can have a salad with dressing, and enjoy yourself for that meal. And then I recommend you wait 3 hours before you have your dessert, because you're going to be so full, you're not going to really enjoy your dessert. And it's just so much at one time. So perhaps if you want your dessert to be in the morning, like maybe a donut and coffee or a cinnamon roll, you can have that in the morning, and then later on have your meal. Once again, it can't be like endless pancakes or something like that where you just keep eating. Some people would prefer to skip their dessert and have an alcoholic beverage, and that's fine. If you can't have a meal, dessert, and alcoholic beverages. You can have one or the other. Some people don't want a meal and would rather have alcohol, wine or a couple martinis. Then you can do that. So, any questions on the reward?
I guess my question is, how many glasses of wine can you have?
How many bottles?
She's asking for a friend.
So let's just say you stick to the plan, like you don't do the cheat meal. How many glasses of wine can you have? Like you're gonna continue with the plan, but you want to have, I don't know, can you have like 2 or 3?
2 to 3. Okay. Yeah, is that good? Will your friend be happy with that?
Yes, he will.
Carol, just to clarify, I just want to make sure, you said that you have a meal, you have your reward meal, and then you can have dessert or alcohol, or you're saying if you do the alcohol, you can't have the meal, or I just want to clarify that.
So some people prefer to have a meal and alcohol and no dessert. So you can have you can have alcohol and you can have a meal, and not dessert. You can't have dessert. Some people love their sweets and alcohol and don't care for food. So you can have alcohol and dessert, but you can't have all 3. So pick 2. Does that make sense? Okay, good. Yeah. Or another thing that you can do is go out to eat and maybe have a healthy dinner with some wine. That would be totally fine. Like let's say you don't want lasagna and bread and butter, but you're gonna go out to eat and have salmon and steamed vegetables in a salad. So it's kind of off your plan, because and then you can have a couple glasses of wine with that, because it's a healthy meal. That would be nice to do. Does that make sense? Good. Any questions? What are you thinking? Anything? She's like,
Well, I'm just trying to picture it scenario wise, because for us we have kids, let's say Islands or Red Robin, and I want to get a hamburger. So then I would just get 1 glass of wine. Then that would probably make the 1 glass of wine would be the dessert, right? Would that be kind of the scenario?
so with your hamburger, would you have French fries too?
Okay, yes. Let's say we do French fries. How
Oh.
would that work? I don't know. I'm just
Yeah,
trying to
I would think, and you're gonna have a couple glasses of wine?
No, I would just say maybe 1. Would that
Oh.
be the equal to the dessert?
No, I would say then you could do that, and then I would say you would probably have a little bit more dessert, like let's say a couple cookies or something to treat
Okay.
yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, because you're not really having that much of a dessert. 1 glass of wine. I mean, if you had 3, then I would say, yeah, that's going to be your dessert.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I'm just trying to kind of picture.
Yeah. Yeah. But I want you to enjoy it, because you work so hard the whole week. You want to be able to enjoy that meal and that day, because it is a lot of, it's mental. This program is very, very mental, and that's why it's important to spend time reading your index cards and meditating and praying, because the first 2 weeks you're going to have a lot of motivation. Everything's good. I got this down, and then by week 3, week 4. Temptations start to come, stress comes, you start to get derailed. So it's very, very important to make sure that you're keeping yourself mentally strong, because it's challenging. And we all have different vices, we all have different issues and temptations. So those are the ones that you have to spend time meditating on when you start to veer off. Another thing I wanted to talk to you about is not rationalizing. Don't start to get off deviating off the plan. Well, I'll just have this because I didn't have this. Or, don't start changing things because that's really going to confuse me. When you start messing with the plan and deviating and switching things out, I don't know what your body's going to be doing. Do you want to touch on that?
Yeah, you don't want to substitute, or here's another thing that we hear over the years. Carol's been doing this we've been doing this for over 20 years, but people will say, well, my friend told me that I could have this instead of that, or they did it this way. And you start changing little things, and then Carol starts getting your numbers, and they're not making sense. You're not losing weight. We don't understand why, but this whole time you've been substituting your third meal. You've taken away this and added this because your friend said it was okay. Don't do that. Make sure that you follow exactly the plan as described. And also, I want to take a step back. Can you explain also the 5 meals and the cheat meal or the reward meal and the reward dessert, and not cramming
that's
the
right.
5
Yes.
meals in there too?
Yes. Okay.
Mm.
I will touch on that, but sticking with what he was talking about, this plan, there's a lot of great plans out there. Everyone's tried so many different ones, and we're not saying that this is the best plan or the only plan. This is just what works for us, and it's just common sense. It's easy to follow. You're going to be eating the same thing all week because can you imagine, like for instance, the zone? I can't do that because they have all these blocks and then it changes. It's just too much. It's just too confusing for me. But this one, you're going to eat the same thing all week. And so you're going to deplete everything in the refrigerator. And everything that I tell you to buy, I'm going to even give you a list so you know how many eggs to buy, how much spinach. So everything is finished. So the next week, you're going to get a completely different menu and a different meal plan. So by the end of the 6 weeks, you're going to have 6 different menus and 6 different shopping lists, which is really nice, to have. And then if you continue, you're going to have phase 1B, like you have 25 weeks worth, so you can kind of circulate through them after. Now, what Mark was saying is when you have 5, men are having 6 meals and women have 5, 3 meals and 2 snacks. On your reward day, you're not gonna, I had one client tell me, oh my God, I just can't eat all this food on my reward, I'm just full from the reward. They were trying to get all 5 meals in, plus their cheat and their dessert. So you don't wanna do that. So usually what I do is I always stick with my breakfast because I love eggs and I could eat it all the time. And then I will probably just have one of my meals because I eat so much on my reward meal and my dessert. I really don't eat much of my program food for that day, maybe 1 or 2. Maybe my shake and my breakfast, and that's it. Does that make sense? Because I want to be hungry for my meal because I want to enjoy it. Does that cover it? Okay, very good. Any questions so far? No? Good. Is everyone exercise? Yeah, everyone's Are you exercising now? Yeah, you're exercising. You're starting up again. Or you still do all the time. Yeah, everyone exercises. Okay, good. I don't have to touch on that. One more thing to talk about before we go to your meals, your meal plan, is you're going to be in a group text. I think there's 10 people starting February 3rd. If you don't want to be in the group text, you want to opt out, let me know and I'll take you off. And then I'll text you privately, like when the weigh-ins are, because I text you probably every other day, like to remind you, okay, tomorrow's weigh-in, don't forget to weigh in, and I do it as a group. So your group is going to be, I think, a group of 10, and then I have other groups that have already started. So if you don't want to be on that, I won't get offended. Some people get annoyed with, group texts and things like that. So just let me know privately, and I'll take you off. Okay, so now we get to your meal plan. So if everyone can take their meal plan out. Do you have any questions on dinner? No? Good. And nighttime shake, yes.
Just really quick, just running by. I haven't even looked because I was gonna look. But I don't have any more jars. But does anybody know if the Kirkland's marinara sauce is that because it's organic and it says it's marinara? Do you know by chance
I
if that one's a
think
good
there's
one?
a 70.
Okay.
So that means you would have to use a little less than, yeah. So you guys can tweak that. So if you found one that is 70 calories, you're just going to have less. But I always like to try to have more.
My kids love that one.
Okay, yeah. So Mark and I have been eating like this our entire lives. I even prepped for him during the CrossFit Games. So our kids grew up eating like this. With them when they were little, like your boys are 4, we just added fun stuff for them. Like we would add bagel bites or fish sticks or chicken nuggets or, macaroni and cheese. So they would eat what we would be eating, but I would throw in mac and cheese for them or something like that. Does that make sense?
And it's cost effective too. So if you're eating as a family, and you're not having to make special meals for your kids or anything, everybody's eating the same thing. The kids just get used to it and they don't realize that they're eating clean and healthy, and that's how we raised our kids.
Yeah. Do you think your kids are gonna like this?
Our kids eat a lot.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah,
they
they
eat
eat
sushi,
whatever
they
we
eat
do.
steak, they eat chicken,
Yeah,
they
they're
How
not
about your
picky.
kids?
They're gonna go out.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. That's why I threw out the Red Robin thing. Is I'm like, honestly, they're not very, they're very picky. That's okay,
Yeah.
just ease it in little by little.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, exactly.
Baby steps.
Do you have kids? I don't know. Yeah. Okay, nighttime shake. Men get this, the women don't. Do you guys get your nighttime shake? Do you understand, like everything? Yeah, good. You just blend it all together.
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah, we
Okay.
have a Vitamix also.
Okay.
That's just what we're going to be using.
Yeah, I love my Vitamix. Oh my gosh, especially if you guys go to the next plan. My 10 o'clock shakes, I love them now because the night before I get my Vitamix and I put all my, like I said, I programmed cucumber, carrot, orange, and spinach. And then I blend it up in the morning before work, and then I have that for 10 o'clock. It's really good because I'm just trying to get more greens in, that. All right, so this is going to be your plan for week 1. And next week, you'll have different foods in a different shopping list. And then every week, it'll just keep changing. So I'm hoping that you'll learn my desire is that you will learn as you go. So whenever you go to a restaurant or go into 7-Eleven, you can scan and pick out the proper snack or meal that you need. If you go to Pollo Loco or somewhere, Yeah. Oh, perfect time. All right. With perfect timing, it is 11:56. So I just wanted the last 5 minutes for questions. Any concerns? I know you've had some questions.
Actually, we've been touching on them
Oh, good.
as we've been going through.
Good.
Or you've answered them as I was raising my hand. So
Okay.
I don't have any more questions to you.
I have one question.
Yes.
I already have my meal plans. Everything is pretty similar. You added greens like to the shakes and stuff. So since I already have my meal plan, if I add spinach, cucumber, or whatnot to my shakes, is it going to change anything? Because it's greens and greens are free.
You're gonna be fine.
Okay.
Go ahead and do that. I would
Because
want you
that
to do
was
that.
a great idea. Like,
Yeah.
I like that.
Do you have a Vitamix or don't?
I don't, but we juice a lot. So if I juice
You don't want to
cucumbers
juice.
with
Well, you
and
mean
add it to the shake,
So when the juicer extracts all the fiber, you want to throw it all in and eat everything though. So
I can blend it as well.
yeah, blend it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do on the pre-made drinks, have you found anything that's doesn't have milk in it? Because I know the Premier Protein has milk.
Yeah, it
It's
does.
way in it.
And it just kind of builds me. I'm not like too allergic, but I would prefer. That's why when I sent you the Orgain, because that
Yes.
one is it doesn't have any milk in it. But that's okay. I just was wondering if you had some.
I'll
I
ask
can
my-
always blend mine, that's
Yeah.
fine, but I just thought in case,
Yeah.
a quick little.
I'll ask my daughter Kayla because she's lactose intolerant and has a lot of issues, and that's why I have a lot of different plans because of her. You know, a lot of people have issues now with gluten and things like that. So I'll let you know on that.
Okay, yeah, just be posted.
Oh, no, I was just gonna say what she was speaking on is that, yeah, I always did the little Premier protein shakes, the ones that we get at Costco and Sam's Club. But there's one, and it does still have dairy in it, but it does not bother me. It's by the same people, Premier Protein Clear Drink. I don't know if you tried that one, but it looks like water. But they have different flavors. They have peach, they have mango, orange, and raspberry. But they're pretty good. They don't bother me as much as those ones that are the Premier milk ones. So the chocolate, the caramel, the peach, or the different ones that we used to get all the time. You can go online and get them. Costco used to carry them. I haven't seen them in there lately, so I just started ordering them. I ordered them from Amazon, and they were just the exact same price as Costco's. Dairy bothers me a lot, so I took a chance and they were fine. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Cooking, I like to use like the PAM or avocado oil to spray. It's okay if you do use a little bit of light olive oil, but try to go easy on it on that. Any other questions?
I have a coffee question. Oh, go ahead. I've had a
On
question.
the turkey meat, do you want the 93.7 or whatever it is, or you want the extreme lean or whatever?
No, it doesn't have to be the extreme lean one, but I just get the one from Costco.
Okay.
That's
I don't know.
It's the 93, I think.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it is, yeah.
This is how we drink our coffee now. Tell me how we need to tweak it. She doesn't put sugar in coffee, but we use 2% milk. I do 2% milk, the unflavored stuff, just regular milk. But I put the raw sugar in there, but we just bought the stevia. Do I need to tweak that at all?
Just use the stevia, right?
Just
Okay.
milk, how much milk do you, and how many cups of coffee do you?
Just a normal cup. We have
Just
to
one cup?
cure it.
2 cups?
How many cups?
Yeah, how many cups of coffee do you
Oh, per day?
They're police officers, yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. Because
Probably 2 cups in the morning as I read.
Can you learn to drink it black?
Yeah, no, I can.
That's
Absolutely.
how I drink my coffee.
Okay.
I love my coffee.
But if
with
you-
stevia,
Yeah.
you could put
And
stevia,
I
but
have 2 or 3
what
cups
about
a
milk?
day and get it for
you could get something called So Delicious, or you know what, your Premier Protein. Have you ever bought the Premier Proteins? No. I put that in my coffee too. Yeah, could you please?
I know you did say there too that if you don't, because I don't want to do the Premier, you did, powder, would it be
Yeah.
just like regular coffee mate?
Yeah, just the non-dairy. You could put a little bit of powder in there. It's not going to hurt you. You know, you'll be fine right now. I mean, in phase 1A, just enjoy your coffee. It should be okay. If you're not getting results, then I'll start to tighten it up. But I'll put some of this in its like caramel flavor. So I put that in my coffee. Yeah, you could get it even in Walmart. If you don't want to buy a big thing of it, you can even get it at Walmart for like $4. You could take this one actually.
Oh, no, keep it. We'll just
Take
buy
it,
some.
yeah. They have different flavors, you know, but you could put a little bit of powder. It's not going to hurt you right now. Like I said, you'll still get results.
I do use the coconut creamer from Trader Joe's. Can I can show you.
Can you show
the nutrition- I have a picture. I took a picture of it just in case.
How much do you use of it? How many cups of coffee?
I have about 2 big cups.
Yeah.
But I probably put maybe 2 tablespoons per. I don't know. I kind of just eyeball it, but
How many calories is it?
let me see. It says for 1 tablespoon is 5 calories. 1 gram of sugar. There's no protein in it though. If you want to take a look,
Just see.
but and if you swipe to the left or right, then you'll see the.
It's on.
I don't know. Is anybody else familiar with that? I just get it at Trader Joe's. It's a little pint and it's like.
What's it called?
It's
Trader
coconut
Joe's
creamer.
coconut creamer.
Okay. Oh, no, I've never seen that before.
Just because I can't do the dairy,
Yeah.
so I try to find some.
That's going to be okay because you have 2. You probably have 2. It's probably going to add 10 calories to your plan. 10, 15. It should be okay. Yeah. Like I said, once you start to plateau, we kind of tighten things up, and I'll say, okay, let's switch to something else. Yeah. I'm trying to think if I covered everything. I think that's it. Is everyone okay to come March 14th for after pictures?
So
if
you
you
want to
guys
explain pictures too about, you'll have them sign a
Oh,
photo
yes.
release form.
Yes.
I'll get that out to everybody later.
Yes. I needed to know if any of you do not want to be on social media. Please let me know if that, like, because sometimes so, now, what I'm going to tell you is I never post before or after pictures on there unless I get, like, I never do that. But what I meant was, like, if I take a group picture of us
Do
today.
that until you get their approval.
Yeah, I never like post body pictures at all until, first of all, they have to look good. I'm not gonna like put you out there. There have to be a good difference for you to make that. But I always ask. I always send it to you. Say, hey, can you? Because some people don't want their body. If at the end people will say, yes, I want it out there because I want people like to inspire someone, some people, but some people don't at all, and that's totally fine. But like today, I'm going to take a group picture, and I'd love to put that on social media. Unless you don't want me to, let me know. If you don't want your face, on there. Is everyone okay? Like for today, okay. And Mark is going to get a photo release. I have to start doing that now so I don't get sued or something, so to make sure it's okay for me to do that. But I will never do your before.
Has everybody seen the side-by-sides she does, the comparisons and things like that, right?
Yeah.
Side, front.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess my question is, you've been doing this for a while. What is the success rate like that you have like from your groups that you start like every month? I mean, that stick to the plan. What's your success
I
rate?
wish I would keep track of that. I don't keep track of that. I think I have a really good success rate. I would say probably 80-20. I'd say 20% just can't follow through with it because it's not easy. It is tough. I don't know.
Life-altering moments happen, and people have injuries and surgeries.
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah, things happen, actually, Vita,
I was just about to say if I can speak on
Yes.
that, and I've done her program before many times, and I was going to say, I think she's being gracious saying 80%. I think it's higher. Very successful. If you follow the plan, you will look amazing and feel amazing. That's what I'm in it for. It's just, getting that energy back and feeling good. And I'm not on blood pressure medicine or anything, but in the line of work that we do, your blood pressure is right there. And I just wanted to overall health, the lifestyle and everything to continue that. So I said, it's about time to get back over here and see Carol and just reintroduce it to me, because you start falling off of it a little bit after a while. That was like 3 years ago that I was on her plan, and I maintain, but I know I can do better than what I'm doing right now, and I want to continue to set those examples for my family. But I think it's amazing what she does, and that's why I'm here again.
Now, can you share with them how you started and where you were with your cholesterol, your medical health, how you were doing at that time?
Yeah. When I first met Carol, she's my dental hygienist.
Lovely teeth.
I was going to her, and I was a sergeant at that time with the department, and I was on a good plan, working out, eating good. Everything was going well. I promoted to lieutenant, and I had to transfer, do a little further commute, and a lot of different things changed, longer hours, all kinds of different things. So from going to 4 to 5 days of working out to zero, really. It was zero. I didn't work out anymore, eating fast food, sitting in 2-hour traffic both ways, going to LA, all these different things took a toll on me. And when I first met Carol, she was like, oh yeah, you look fit, you look good. And then as I was going to her, for my 6 months checkup, for my teeth and everything, she started going, oh, is everything okay? Because the weight came on. I gained about 35 pounds within less than 3 years.
And she looked unhealthy.
Yeah. And blood pressure problems popped up. And
Cholesterol too.
just blood pressure.
Okay.
Just the blood pressure, but And I wound up having to actually go on medication. I had an episode where I just wasn't feeling good, went to the hospital, oh, your blood pressure's this high and all this. And my primary doctor wanted to put me on blood pressure medicine. And after a while, I just knew that I had to do something because it was like I just was not feeling well, and I could feel the tension and everything in my body and just not, functioning, and especially for my family, And I think it was one day I was in San Diego at a Del Mar Fair, and I was with my family, and we took a selfie picture, and that's all it took was me to look at that selfie picture, and I was like, wow. And I didn't even realize had gained all that weight, wasn't really paying attention, just going day by day, just doing things. And it was Carol one time in there, she's like, you just gotta try, you just gotta come over, give me a chance and everything. And
For
I
CrossFit.
tell you, yeah, for CrossFit, I CrossFit and everything. So she got me into that, and then I immediately got onto one of her programs.
Well, let's back up. When she went to CrossFit, her first intro, her fundamental,
Yes.
she probably did 2 minutes and she had to stop and she was going to faint. Remember how sick you got?
It was like about to throw up, pass out. I'm like, I'm done. I'm not doing this stuff. I'm too old for this and all of these things. And then put throwing age in there and everything like that.
And I said, no, you can do this.
Yeah, but I wound up, I was like, it was fun. I could see everybody in there doing that. I'm like, I want to do this. So I did. I went back. They didn't think I was going to come back finish off my fundamentals and everything. But I went back, and I've been CrossFitting for 4 years. But I was on medication and everything. And I tell you, after doing Carol's program, exercising 4 to 5 days a week, one day I almost felt like I was getting ready to pass out, and I was like, what the heck is going on? And I was like, let me check my blood pressure. And my blood pressure was like 101/60 or something like that. It was so low, and I was still taking medication. So I went to my doctor, and it just kept going. It was lower, and he just said, hey, let's remove the medication. So I'm not on any medication or anything like that, but I can kind of feel right now, it's inching up, and I haven't been eating the best, and I'm like, I need to get myself back. And eating's 80% of feeling great. You can work out as much as you want. You can go to the gym. You can see people coming in there 5 days a week, and they're probably going to look the same if they're not eating right. It's 80%, I always say, is what you put into your body and your mental health, and also, get that exercise in there. But it really is what you put inside your body,
Yeah.
the temple.
Well, I'm glad you're back.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
Definitely
it's
worth it, and I'm happy about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
A lot of my
I just have a question. I'm sorry, I have lots of questions, but when you did it the first time, at the 4th week, how did you feel? Like, did you have cravings? I mean, did
No,
you?
they actually laughed. I was really good. I wouldn't actually do my cheat meals, so I lost weight really quick. I was one of the top one, people that in my, losing weight, like 13 pounds real quick in, 4 weeks, and I just did really good. And the cravings weren't there, and I'm not a sweet person. And I eat every once in a while sweets, but my thing is chips. So I just stopped buying them. My husband and them were pissed, but I was like, you guys go out and get your stuff, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah. Very, very good.
I also want to say, Carol's pretty humble, you're right. Being married to her all these years and being involved with the program and watching her work, I probably can count the times on my hands that people were not successful out of about 1,000 people she's worked with over the last 20 some years. We have boxes and boxes of files, and so I know her success rate is a lot higher than that, and she creates this blueprint for you, real simple to follow, and then she's your lifeline. Anytime you have a problem, you can text her. That's the beauty of having Carol as your meal creator, because she spends a lot of time, each and every one of you guys, knowing exactly what your body's doing weekly. And so if you have any questions, reach out to her. And that's why she has this group also, so that way you guys can celebrate your successes and what people are doing and how they're doing and some of the challenges. But I'm telling you, she makes it easy for you. If you follow the process, you will be successful.
Yeah. And it's nice to have this group because you hold each other accountable, so it's good. Any other questions?
That's a good story, thank you.
Oh, yeah. So I want to go around the room actually and kind of just, before we're going to break right now, but just go around and introduce yourself. And it would be nice to just say a little thing of why you're doing this program and how you found me. So Vita, we already heard from Vita. So Marco?
I'm Marco. I had two friends that went through the program with Carol, and just always struggled with weight, and I'm up there like you, and I just don't feel good and healthy, and I just want to slow down and find something I can stick with and not be on a yo-yo.
All right. Hi, I'm Corrine, and my best friend went through the program about a year ago, I think.
Mhm.
Was it a year ago or 2 years? No, it was a year.
About a year ago.
Last year, about a year and a half. And so she kept telling me about it, and I've followed you probably for over a year, I think before Sharon did it, and see the success through all the transformation in the pictures. So I just think it's time for me to do it. All my life, I've been kind of an active person. I've worked out, kind of was more on the skinny, like thinner side. I never had to worry about what I ate, but obviously I'm 41, and so my metabolism is slowing down, and so I just can't eat whatever I want anymore. And so it's just compiled over the years. And after I had my babies, I had triplets, and they're 10 years old now. So, and so
Twins.
I know twins. I know we've talked about some stories. So, and ever since I had the kids, I never went back down to the weight that I had originally was. And so it just kind of, with that on top of just continually eating what I want when I wanted to, I've gained, and now I'm at a place where I've got to worry about a little bit of just the cholesterol level. It's not bad, but I just need to do that and take care of myself. I also have an autoimmune disease as well, so I know that coming from a family of diabetics, and then with the high blood pressure or the cholesterol, I need to get into a place where I'm continually taking care of my health. So
Good.
yeah.
And I'm so excited because I've been wanting to do it.
I know.
For a long time.
I know.
Yes, she's ready.
It's time.
Okay, Yvette.
I'm Yvette. I've been in this program before. It was about 3 or 4 years when I first started. I was on the program for, I would say maybe about 3 months. I had stopped the program. I had a lot of issues with family. I lost my grandmother first. A year after, I lost my grandfather. A year after, my mom was diagnosed with beginning stages of dementia, so we've been dealing with that. Then I was in a bad car accident, almost lost my life. And then from there, I had, which was last year, was my last, which I'm hoping is my last fall, I had abnormality. In my cervix, I've had everything removed, so I went through a life change there, and now hasn't been a year, it's been almost a year, so I feel like I'm ready to start my life, move forward, get healthy, eat healthy, lose weight, and hoping to get my family on board as well. So here I am again. I know this worked before. It was good. I'm on my 2nd week of eating. I feel great. I already have energy. And I have that mentality now, like that I didn't have before. So I feel like I had told her, I'm like gun ho, I'm ready to go and move and do this. So that's my story.
And I have told her that I'm not charging her. I just want her to be part of the group because I want her to use her old plans to save money. So it's not all about the money, for me. Whenever I can save people money, I just tell them, just come, be involved with it, and just use the plans that you have. And then later on, if you want new plans, we can do that. So.
And that's what's great about those plans is that they still work. I mean, it's been a long time, and everything you guys are saying on your plans, was pretty much this week that I just had. So it's good to familiarize myself with everything and the little things, like adding things, the little things that she's changed. I mean, it hasn't been much, but to me it is a big change because adding spinach to your shake, it's extra flavor. So and mayonnaise, we weren't allowed to do mayonnaise. So that's awesome. So I went this whole week with no mayonnaise on my tuna. So yeah, that's great. So to hear all this and she's still doing it, and I mean, it seems like she's blown up since the last time I did this plan. So I'm excited. I'm really excited.
Well, welcome again. Well, I actually have a friend who did this program. She's actually doing this program right now, but she's done it in the past. And I met her at CrossFit Chino Hills. And a couple of years ago, I had my boys, and I had put a lot of weight on during the pregnancy. It was probably the best weight. I mean, I ate everything. And after I had them, I tried to go back to the gym, and I just couldn't do it. And I was telling Carol the story. I just felt, I think I was telling you the story. I was like, I just can't be here. I couldn't do burpees. I went back to Saga, and I left. And they said, well, try the HIIT class, and you might feel different. So I started eating clean. And I do believe that eating clean works because I lost a lot of weight. I think I was at 180 when I had my twins. And when I gave birth, I think I was down to like 165. And I was able to lose the weight and get back down to 125, just eating clean for 6 months. I felt great. But after a while, of course, you have your babies, you go back to work, and, things just go out of whack. And I just want to learn a new diet plan on how to eat differently, I've never tried anything like this, eating every so many hours. I think I only stick to 3 meals, and but I do snack on bad food. I love chips. I love chocolate. I try to hide it from my kids, but I really try to hide it from myself. And my husband will tell you, I will find those chips somewhere in the pantry, or I will make them myself. But so that's why I'm here, to just learn something else, something new for my family, and of course for my husband. We're doing this together, and he's probably my biggest support. And I'm his biggest support. I like to think so, but that's why I'm here.
I'm Kevin, and without repeating a lot of what my wife said, but yeah, we had our 4-year-old twins, and we both got lazy with our diet, with our workout. It's an opportunity for both of us to get focused. Prior to the kids, we were really focused. We did marathons and half marathons. We did CrossFit. We worked out on a regular basis. The kids came, and not that that's an excuse, but it is an excuse to a degree, because they take up a lot of your time and a lot of your energy.
Absolutely, yeah.
And we're just trying to get focused. They're 4 years old now. I'm retiring from the police department after 34 years in law enforcement, and I'm 56. I've had a couple surgeries the last couple of years, and I got lazy, and this is an opportunity to get focused, find that dedication, find that discipline once again. So I'm pumped up and motivated, and the fact that we live in the same home together, we're gonna push each other.
You're gonna make sure she doesn't get those chips.
Yes, they're all
And she does make her own chips. She will. She'll grab tortillas out of the fridge and slice them up and toast them.
Got it. I'm supposed to tell them that. I find a way.
She puts a little tahini on there.
All right, guys. Well, we are starting February 3rd. I'll be excited to get all your weigh-ins, and just text me, and let's get together for a group photo.